don't have the interpreter, by the way.
Thank you.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. This is our sophomore class orientation for families and students. So welcome to the 2020-2021 school year. This is Mr. Ginoza. I'm your principal. And again, I'm so excited. It breaks my heart that I can't see you in person, that we can't see smiling faces. Obviously, this global pandemic has put us in a different situation. But the global pandemic aside, it's not going to diminish our excitement for the 2020-2021 school year. We're still going to be successful. Everyone's running around here, getting everything prepared for a successful opening of school on Monday, August 24th. And so at this time, I will let you know a couple of things. I'm going to probably say this 3 or 4 times over the course of this presentation today, or this orientation, is that this presentation is being recorded. And so that we can place the recording to our school website at the end of the day today for you to go back to review if you think you missed something. Additionally, the slideshow presentation I have for you will be downloaded into a link in a PDF document that you would be able to access, because we're going to provide a lot of links to some resources that we want to ensure that you have access to. So at this time, I'd like to kind of reintroduce, because students you do know our 2 assistant principals, our hardworking assistant principals, but I'd like to provide them another opportunity to say hello as we open up the 2020-21 school year. So, Mrs. Nelson.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sophomores. Like Mr. Ginoza said, I wish I could see your smiling faces. We do miss our students terribly, and look forward to a time where we can be together again. Maybe that'll be during your online classes or, hopefully at some point during the school year. Again, my name is Mrs. Nelson. I'm the assistant principal over curriculum and testing. But the part that probably means the most to you is I also work very closely with the counselors on the schedule and on your student schedules. So I just want to encourage you, if you haven't looked in Infinite Campus yet, please do so. Check out your schedule. If you have any questions or if you see any problems, please email your counselors immediately. We won't be able to make any schedule changes once the school year starts. So any concerns that you may have need to be addressed this week. Again, we miss you terribly. I can't wait to jump in on some of your online courses and say hello. And I'm just really looking forward to a successful year. Mr. Davis?
Thank you, Ms. Nelson. Hi, I'm Mr. Davis. I am over discipline, attendance, and activities. Same as kind of a previous school years. If you're going to be absent, or if you're going to the doctor or you're sick and you're unable to make it to a lesson and you're marked absent, we are asking students to still submit a doctor's note or a note just to provide us documentation so we can go ahead and excuse those absences in the system. We're going to provide you with a email address later in the presentation of who to contact and when those matters happen. Also, if you're planning to go on vacation, doing the prearranged absence, that's the same kind of scenario where you just let us know and we'll be able to follow up. But again, that information on who to contact, how to contact them will be provided later in this presentation. And in regards to activities, they're going to be virtual, but then again, it'll be explained, and we're looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to jumping in those virtual classes and seeing you guys. It's eerie just being in a building where there's no students. So really looking forward to this school year to start. And just going to hand it over to Mr. Ganoza. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, folks. And again, I want to just before we begin, say a public thank you to Mr. Davis, Mrs. Nelson. Mr. Rodriguez is here with us, assisting us with this platform today, with this orientation, and all of our teachers, staff, support staff, our custodial staff. Everyone is working so hard to have a successful opening on Monday. And so thank you to everyone for your efforts. At this time, I am going to share my screen so everyone can see the presentation that we have prepared for you today that will give you an overview of what the 2020-21 school year will look like. So if I can ask for your patience for a second, I will begin our presentation. Okay. Okay, well, welcome to the family orientation for students and families. This is the 2021 school year. So this is what we will be covering today. We will be covering a lot of information, and a lot of information has changed. And so as we receive updates from the Clark County School District. So please understand, again, this will be recorded for you to go back and review. And this entire slideshow presentation will be in a document format that you'll be able to access for your reference. But today we will be covering student schedules, distance education terminology, so you understand when you hear new terms coming up of what we're talking about or what your teachers are saying. We'll be covering new attendance procedures, Canvas, and what is Canvas, program uniforms, standard student attire. We'll be covering fees, communicating with teachers, wellness checks, which are new to the Clark County School District for 2020-21, who to go to for help, and then we'll also talk about student clubs, activities, and additional resources. Okay. First of all, I would like to thank everyone. Students, this is your second year at Veterans Tribute as incoming sophomores, and the reason why I want to thank everyone and thank your families is our student honor code of pride, being professionalism, responsibility, integrity, determination, and excellence. I on a daily basis in the 2019-20 school year, last school year, we were all able to witness these characteristics on display every day. And that's a testament to our families, you all, how you're raising your students. Students, this is a huge pat on the back, that at age 14, 15, and 16, that you're already demonstrating these characteristics. This will always be our honor code. These are characteristics that as you work through and as we mature, that will serve you well during high school and well beyond. You know, everyone in the workforce is always looking for these characteristics. And I'm happy to say that we already see it on display. So please continue to demonstrate these positive characteristics. I will tell you, it's going to look a little bit different in how you demonstrate these characteristics in an online educational platform. Professionalism and responsibility and your determination in how you communicate with your teachers, the frequency with which you communicate and email your teachers to ask clarification questions. Things are different. And you know, it's really going to be trying on all of us, but we will be successful. Make no mistake, we will. We're absolutely confident of that. So just please know this: you have our full support. Whatever you need to be successful is what we're going to attempt to do. So just know this: I thank you for demonstrating these characteristics every day. And we're absolutely impressed, and which is why we can sit here with the utmost confidence and say, I know we will be successful this year. The bell schedule for the 2020-2021 school year has been adjusted. Students, you're familiar with a typical A-B schedule. This year, not only have the times changed, but we are introducing the use of a C day on a weekly basis. So let me just kind of review what it's going to look like. On our typical A-B days, teacher office hours will be in first thing in the morning, and your first period of the day, whether it's a first period or a fifth period, will begin at 7:40. They're still 80 minutes long, and we've still built in a 5-minute break in between classes, as typically would be used in passing periods. What you will see, and I'll focus on the A day, is first period will go from 7:40 to 9:05 to 10:25, and then we've also built in some time for announcements, so we can still conduct the Pledge of Allegiance, give you announcements about what's going on, things to look forward to, clubs, activity updates. Everyone will have a lunch break at the same time. And then you'll notice on the block days, there's an additional 25 minutes for wellness checks. I will get into wellness checks about what that is and the purpose of a wellness check later in this presentation. So just know that I will clarify that. And then period 3 will be from 11:30 to 12:50, and period 4, 12:55 to the end of the day. C days, your first period of the day will not start until 9 o'clock. So you have a little bit of extra time. But what that does is it provides a 2-hour window in the morning for us to provide additional assistance, whether they're office hours, reaching out to teachers. There's other things that we're going to be using that 2-hour block for, including wellness check updates, checking on students. Sometimes we will be having our staff meetings and things like that. But just know that your C day will not start until 9 a.m. Okay? So moving forward with that, so that now that you know what the time frame looks like, let me tell you what the first week of school will look like. So the first week of school, the first day will be a C day, which will allow you to get into all 8 of your courses, again, beginning at 9 a.m. So for the first week of school, Monday will be a C day, and then it will go A, B for Tuesday through Friday. Typically, on a regular 5-day week, we will go A, B, C, A, B, where your C day is on a Wednesday. Okay? Your class schedules. Again, your class schedules are available in Infinite Campus, and we do encourage you, as Mrs. Nelson mentioned earlier, to access your campus schedule or your Infinite Campus schedules, your class schedules. Should you have any questions or concerns, to reach out to your counselors as soon as possible. Excuse me. As schedule changes will not be made after the school year begins. So Again, I will review who your counselors are later in this presentation, but you're going to want to start accessing and taking a look at your schedule. Okay, this is some new terminology that you may or may not be aware of that will be used consistently throughout our distance education for the 2020-2021 school year. I think we all have hopes that we'll be back in some face-to-face format, but we're going to need to function on the idea as to what we do during distance education. Clark County School Board of Trustees are kind of the governing body to determine whether or not we're going to come back, along with medical professionals. So we don't have any control over that. What we do have control over is how we function during distance education. So families, I'm gonna skip down to the very last bullet and talk about the weekly instructional guide. Every week, from all of your teachers, students, you are going to get a weekly instructional guide, and families, this will be provided to you as well. What this guide will do is identify the times in which teachers will be teaching live and when teachers will be identified to work independently. So that will, families, just for you to know, you'll know when your son or daughter is supposed to be online participating live with their teachers, or when they've been authorized to work independently on their own. So with that, on that note, I'm going to go back up to the very first bullet. On these instructional guides, you're going to see these terms. Asynchronous instruction. Asynchronous instruction is when it is not a live session. This is when teachers possibly could be providing recorded videos for students to watch independently, or when they finish the live session for the day, for students to log off and go and work independently on tasks, assignments, projects. So again, to repeat, asynchronous means it is not live. This means that students are working independently at their pace. Synchronous instruction means this is real-time, live instruction, which we encourage and kind of expect everyone to participate when it's live. Synchronous instruction is the opportunity for all of our teachers to answer live questions, for students to participate in live discussions, to get clarification on topics. So it's going to be very, very, very important, students, that when your teachers have identified live synchronous opportunities, that you participate in those live sessions. Because while you'll have the ability to go back and view a recorded session, during a recorded session, you don't have that ability to ask real-time questions or participate in discussions. And we all know the importance of that. And so I would encourage all of us to please, please, please take advantage of the synchronous opportunities in classes with your teachers. Video conferencing. Video conferencing is live audio and video connections that may not be a overall live instructional opportunity with a teacher. This might be when a teacher says, hey, I'm going to break you off in groups. I want you to video conference, and I want you to work in small groups. So just know that video conferencing is still, it's live audio and video, but it may not be a whole class instructional opportunity. That would be considered synchronous instruction, okay? Virtual office hours are blocks of time that when you receive your weekly instructional guides, you're going to see virtual office hours. And this is when teachers are making themselves available for students to ask questions, for teachers to reply to emails, for students with clarification questions. There may be some times when teachers are saying, hey, I'm going to be live doing virtual office hours if you want to pop into a call and ask some questions. So just know that those opportunities are available. What are going to be available? What we're all working on is the manners in which we can provide the utmost support and assistance as we all try to navigate these unprecedented times. So take advantage of the synchronous instruction. Log in and see it live. If you can't watch the recorded videos, email your teachers, take advantage of virtual office hours, okay? Student schedules. This is a sample, and I'm going to reinforce the word sample, of what a weekly instructional guide will look like. This is, again, as a sample, we are making some adjustments to what this will look like. However, just know it's going to look virtually, the format will look the same from all of your teachers. So I'm going to kind of take you through this real briefly. What you'll see on the left-hand side will be the time frame. You'll see the identified period for that day. What you're going to see in the actual weekly instructional guide is the time frame in which it's going to be synchronous and asynchronous, and those time frames will be identified by your teachers. So as we start to develop this and send it out, we're trying to make it as clear and easy to read for everyone, so there aren't any questions as to when you should be logging on live and when you should be working independently based on your teacher's lessons for that day. And that's why it will be sent out weekly, so parents and students, you know what the next week is going to look like. Because I know some of you are dealing with other issues at home, as all of the repercussions of this global pandemic have come to light with, with economic impact, social emotional impact. We do understand that people, while we're all in this same storm, in this global pandemic, we are navigating this storm independently by families, and everyone has a different situation. So again, the goal of this weekly instructional guide is to give you a clear picture of what the week's instruction should look like. Okay. And again, teachers or students, please begin accessing your student schedules via your campus portal account on Infinite Campus. Okay. Okay, attendance for the 2020-2021 school year is going to be different. Attendance is based on participation. Now, before I get into what that means, I'm going to refer back to the fourth quarter of last school year when we went into quarantine and we went into online instruction. And at that time, attendance was being monitored by two-way communication with teachers, that students were saying, nope, I'm here, I'm okay. That is no longer no longer qualifying as participation for attendance purposes. So at this time, I'm going to review what will qualify you as being present in class and participated. So item A, student participates in live synchronous instruction. So what that will look like is when your teacher says synchronous instruction will be for first period, will begin at 7:40. You're going to log on and your teachers will be able to see you in real time fashion in a Google meeting. And your teachers will be able to say, student is here, is participating. And that will mark you as positive attendance for that period. Now, while we are encouraging and expecting students to participate in live synchronous instruction every day, we also understand that there may be a time where you don't get to that, you're not able to participate live. So items B and C also qualify as participation for attendance purposes. So item B states that students complete instructor-assigned task that demonstrates daily progress. So here's what it will look like. If you're unable to log in live, which again is the easiest way to go, but if you're unable to log in live, your teachers will be assigning tasks that need to be completed by 11:59 of that assigned day. Because again, attendance is daily participation. So completion of that task identifies that you are making academic progress on that day. Okay? Or item C, in which a student meets with or otherwise communicates with teachers to discuss course progress. This is an example of this situation is a student wasn't able to participate live, and so a student decides I'm going to view the recorded session, and I'm going to email my teacher with some questions related to that day's lesson and content. It is what will not be acceptable is the email that says, hello, Mrs. So-and-so, this is Jason, and I'm okay. That doesn't qualify as discussing course progress. That doesn't qualify as demonstrating progress in content related to content. So again, the options are participating live in the synchronous session, or completing your instructor assigned task by 11:59 p.m., or communicating with your teacher related to that day's content by 11:59 p.m. Again, as it is assigned to daily attendance. Okay. Again, well, let me just add this. Your teachers will be reviewing this with you during the first week of school. So we hope that throughout the first couple weeks of school, that this just becomes regular, as this is all new information for you and for all of us. So we will work out the kinks, and we will make this successful. Item D, student truancy letters will still be mailed out. So parents, if you receive these truancy notifications, that's your sign that your student is not participating. And that means we can't confirm that they were in live. They would not be participating on a daily progress or not communicating with your teacher. And obviously that is a concern. That means they're missing lessons, they're missing instruction, and they're not learning. So that's when those student truancy notices would be mailed out. Again, we also understand that we're still living life, and there's possibly opportunities where you're going to get sick, you're going to go to the doctor, and that's why you would be missing class. So absence notes will still need to be emailed, to Miss Ross or Mr. Davis, who's over attendance, as they will be tracking daily participation as it's identified for attendance purposes in Infinite Campus. Okay. Okay, Canvas. Parents, some of you may be familiar with Canvas. Canvas is used a lot on a college level, on a higher education level, in which there's a lot of us are taking courses here in Las Vegas, but it's a course out of the University of Oklahoma or the University of Phoenix. So this isn't anything new to the educational world. However, it is new to the overarching everyone that is Clark County School District. So Canvas is a learning management system. And what it will do is it will house resources. This is where students will turn in assignments. This is where students will access assignments, tests, quizzes, and it does communicate with Infinite Campus for grading updates. So you can rest assured on that part that the Infinite Campus is still an accurate measure of what's going on with your student performance as they turn in work through the Canvas portal. So that's what Canvas is. Teachers will still be utilizing Google Classroom. So students, I know that you're very comfortable with Google Classroom. And so just please understand this, that our teachers will be using Canvas and Google Classroom simultaneously. Google Classroom provides us the opportunity to have the live meetings, to post additional video resources. And I know students, you're all familiar with that. And so your teachers will be kind of giving you a tutorial on how to navigate Canvas. And we do know this, that there's going to be a learning curve on how we utilize these platforms. So we expect for there to be a little bit of wobbles along the way, but we don't anticipate anything that will be severely disruptive. Students, I'm going to encourage you to do this prior to the first day of school. In order to access your Canvas classes, you're going to come down here to number 3 or the third line. Students will log into clever.ccsd.net to access all your courses. Clever, when you log into clever.ccsd.net, you're going to notice that Clever is kind of a house, and it's hosting resources. This is how you will click on the Canvas icon to get into your Canvas courses. If you're taking Apex courses, you'll see the link to Apex. You'll see the link to a number of different resources that we'll be using, and it's all housed in one area, which is nice. So I would encourage you all to log into Clever prior to the first day of school. so that we can ensure that you have your appropriate access. What I will caution you on to not worry is that when you log into Clever and you click on the red canvas icon, you may not see all your classes yet because classes are being rostered and the computer systems are talking to one another to ensure that on August 24th, on the first day of school, you will, when you log into Clever and access your Canvas courses, that they will all be there on the first day of school. So don't panic if you don't see them on the first day of school, or if you don't see them until the first day of school. Students, your teachers will be emailing you links to your Google Meets for the first day of school live sessions. So please, as we begin to move forward, today being the 18th, school starting on the 24th, begin to monitor your school email on a regular basis to be on the lookout for emails from your teachers to provide you the links to your first online session for day one. Okay? Last but not least, this is one of the links that will become available at the end of the day today as we post it to our school website that will provide resources for students and parents. So this is one of the first ones that when you click on there will be Canvas resources that takes you through some tutorials or provides additional trainings on what Canvas is. New students to CCSD. Okay, for all of you out there in our sophomore class who are new, you may be asking yourself questions. How do I log in? What is my account? You will be receiving a personal email that will provide your student account information, which will include your new school email address, your username, and instructions on how to set your password. I do know we have students coming from charter schools, and we have students coming from out of state. And we have students coming from private schools who have not been in the Clark County School District. So please know to be on the lookout for this information that will be coming soon. Okay, for the 2020-21 school year, program uniforms will be optional. If you've already purchased a uniform, we will be allowing you to use that for the 21-22 school year next year. However, we understand that the economic impact that this global pandemic has placed upon our world and our community. And while we're not face to face, we decided that the option to choose to use program uniforms or not was the way to go. So please know this, we do place a lot of pride in what these program uniforms signify and stand for. And students, I know a lot of you as sophomores, you were looking forward to a different kind of school program uniform as you work your way up through your senior year. As again, we take a lot of pride in those. So if you have purchased them and you have them and you would like to wear them, I would encourage you to do so. We take a lot of pride in providing the opportunities for you. We know you're excited about what your sophomore level classes will begin to open you up to as far in relationship to programs, whether it's law enforcement, 911 dispatch, or you're not in 911 dispatch yet, but law enforcement, criminal justice, forensic science, so on and so forth. So if you choose to wear it, by all means, please do so. Standard student attire, as you all know, we are a standard student attire school. Standard student attire will take effect if and when we return to live face-to-face instruction on campus. Okay? However, students and families, I would like to, for a second, address this idea. You will be participating in live class sessions, synchronous sessions. Please be aware of the clothing that you are wearing, maintaining hairstyles and clothing that are conducive to an educational environment. When you log into class, you are sitting in class, and you still need to be dressed appropriately for all live class sessions. So we've attached here the behavior guidelines for secondary students. Additionally, please be aware when you activate your camera on your computer to join on your Google Chromebooks to join into live sessions, please be aware of what is in the background. We don't want anyone to get embarrassed. We don't want anyone to have other people see things in homes that you may not be aware of because you didn't take a second to take a look at what's in the background. So please identify a place at home that is fairly neutral, that people won't walk behind and see, so that other people won't see things. Because again, we don't want anyone to get caught off guard or for you to be embarrassed because you were just unaware of what's in the background. So please, again, please pay attention to that. And additionally, we will be reviewing, your teachers will be reviewing with you what the online expectations are in relationship to participation in live synchronous instruction. Okay. I would encourage everyone to try and find a quiet place at home. We do know we have brothers, sisters, we have dogs that are barking. So please do your best to find that area that will allow you to concentrate on your courses so you can be successful. Okay. Oh, again, fees. Fees, as we've made the program uniforms optional, this year, our program fees will be waived. We will not be charging program fees for the 2020-2021 school year. Again, as this global pandemic has placed unprecedented stresses economically on our community. Some of the things that we will not have control over and we will need to charge will be for things like AP testing, which will come at later on in the year, dual credit tuition if you're participating in a dual credit college course, or if you choose to be a member in an organization like a student club or activity that may have some additional fees in order to provide those opportunities for you. So please know again, that our program fees will not be charged this year. And however, there may be extenuating circumstances in which some fees will be required. Communicating with teachers. I cannot stress the importance of this enough. The manner and the frequency in which you communicate with your teachers, students is going to be vital to your success. Teachers will be sending out messages in Canvas, announcements. They're always available via email. I would encourage you to please communicate with your teachers frequently to ensure that you are clear on their instruction, that you don't have clarification questions, to ensure that you know what's going on. Again, one of the most effective ways is to log into synchronous instruction. You can ask real-time clarification questions. However, we do understand that there will be times where you have questions after the synchronous instruction session. So please, again, we will be communicating out a lot of information, but please, again, as you have 8 classes, you're going to have questions. So please be sure to email back and forth with your teachers to get clarification should you need it. Okay. Additionally, your counselors and all of us here as an administrative staff are here to help you and assist you. So should you have questions about other issues, please feel free to email us. Student wellness checks. New to the 2020-2021 school year will be weekly student wellness checks. All students will be required to complete these wellness checks that will be provided or administered by your 7th period teachers. This will occur once a week in 7th period. The intent of these wellness checks is to gauge and monitor your well-being related to social emotional concerns and technology concerns. This is not about the content in class. This is about things related to how you are doing as an individual. We all care for your safety, your well-being, and when I say well-being, this global pandemic has placed additional stressors, anxiety on a lot of us as there's so much uncertainty in our world. And so some of you will be communicating some concerns, and just know this, that we are monitoring what is being communicated in these wellness checks to ensure that our counseling department can jump in to assist you when necessary. So please, that is again, it is a requirement. And that is the purpose of these wellness checks. The secondary portion of this wellness check is these technological concerns. On August 24th, on Monday morning, when you log into your first class at 9 a.m., over 320,000 Clark County School District students will be logging in during this time frame. And one thing that we have not experienced yet is when everyone's logging in at the same time. We experienced a little bit of it during the closure in March, during the fourth quarter. However, on August 24th, there is going to be an influx of over 300,000 students logging in using Canvas, using Google. So we do anticipate a few bumps along the way. Just know this, that please communicate in this wellness checks whether or not it's working at your home, if there's things you need us to provide assistance for, if your Chromebook's not working. All of these things, again, comes back to the purpose of these wellness checks so that we can hopefully smooth out these bumps. I will ask for your patience, because what we don't know is how it's all going to kind of work out, as we have not tried it. So as we begin to open up school on August 24th, we anticipate some bumps, but please communicate with us, and we're going to work diligently to smooth them out for all of us. Okay? Who to contact for help? Well, obviously, if you have a question about your courses, we're going to ask you to contact your teachers first, and they can be reached via email. However, students, if you have other concerns, time management, stress, anxiety, mental health issues, just know this: our counselors are prepared to work with you. They have access to outside resources. They have a whole network of people to provide assistance in the best way possible, in the most efficient manner possible. So again, grades 10 through 12, if your last name falls in the A through L, Mrs. Snyder Hernandez will be your counselor. And if your last name ends with an M or a Z, or begins with an M or a Z, excuse me, Mrs. Devinson will be your counselor. Mrs. Murdoch, again, will be serving all of our freshmen this school year. Student activities and clubs. This is the fun stuff. This is the things that I would encourage you to continue to participate in. We do recognize that it will be conducted in a virtual format. That club information and signups will be coming soon. So pay attention to the announcements that will be coming during the school day, as in that identified time. We do encourage you all to participate in clubs and activities, as this allows students for you to connect with your fellow classmates of different levels. Teachers who may be a club advisor, but they're not one of your 8 instructional teachers. So please, students, we encourage you all to continue to participate. The downfall of our current situation is there will not be any student-sponsored gatherings in relationship to student clubs and activities. So while we want to gather as our Skills USA, we want to get our HOSA students together, we are not allowed to do so at this time on or off campus. Again, health and safety must be our number one concern. It is our number one concern. And unfortunately, this is not something that will be available until further notice. However, we do have the ability to participate in a virtual format. Additionally, some other things are kind of not allowed. Well, they're not allowed at this time. Those would be our school dances, obviously assemblies. Students, I know as you move forward from freshman to sophomore year, and then as you move forward into your junior and senior year, prom, homecoming, SATs, those all become so important to us. And they are important to you. They're important to us. We really enjoy those social opportunities. Unfortunately, at this time, they're just not available, and they're just not an option. But I also want you to know that Mrs. Newkirk, our student club or our student council advisor, your sophomore class advisor, will be working together to provide as much of an opportunity as we can for some fun and social gathering virtually. Our virtual open house will occur on Friday. And what that will look like is all of our teachers have pre-recorded a video for you to view that will introduce you to your new teachers, and they will be kind of giving you an overview as to who they are and what their course is about. These videos are being recorded as we speak, And this will be available on Friday, August 21st on our website, beginning at 2 o'clock. This is a kind of a neat opportunity for you to see who even our new teachers are. And so some of you may not be aware of who our new staff members are. So on that note, I would like to formally welcome our new VTCTA staff members. New to our math department is Mrs. Lockett and Ms. Troth. Our new PE teacher and health teacher is Mr. Lang. Mr. Lang, for those of you who knew Mr. Dunn, is replacing Mr. Dunn, as Mr. Dunn has moved on to a different department in the Clark County School District, serving students in a different capacity. Our new special education teacher is Dr. Cifuentes, and she will be assisted by Mrs. Floss. They will be working with our special education students to provide all the supports that are appropriate for them. And new to our school, brand new, is our new JROTC program. We are very excited about what this program will provide for our students. So I know some of you are in this course, and that program will be headed up by Sergeant Major Schoolfield and First Sergeant Horton, who come to us with a wealth of experience, having already completed a full military career. They bring to us 11 years of experience running a JROTC program, and they have been extremely successful, and they are excited to bring that level of success and opportunity here to our students at Veterans Tribute. So I'd like to formally welcome all of our new team members. These next two slides are some links to additional resources which will be made available again at the end of the day in our PDF document format. But parents, just know there's online tutorials for you to access. And I know we've already sent this out during our weekly communication that we've been sending out on Tuesday afternoons via parent link. So some of this may not be new. Students, there are some additional resources about logging into Clever. There's a digital family guide through reconnect.ccsd.net. And please know that as additional resources become available from the Clark County School District, those will be sent out in our weekly communication from the school administration. So not only will you be receiving weekly communication and in the instructional guides from teachers, but you will be receiving weekly updates from myself and our assistant principals. Some additional information for you to access on students on how do you find your login information if you need to reset your passwords. And parents, just know that you will also have the ability to create an observer account to monitor your students' grades and course content in Canvas. But again, Infinite Campus is always available via your parent account to track your students' progress in Infinite Campus. Again, just in closing, today's presentation is being recorded, will be available to be reviewed or viewed for the first time on our website at vtcta.org. And a PDF presentation of this slideshow will be available on our website this afternoon to enable everyone to access the links to the resources. At this time, I'm going to unshare my screen. Lastly, I would just like to, again, welcome you to the 2020-21 school year. We are going to be successful. We are all excited to bring you back to school in a virtual format. And please know that it will not be abnormal to see myself, Mrs. Nelson, and Mr. Davis popping into your online synchronous session so we can see your faces, because that opportunity is not available to us. Your teachers will be seeing you on a regular basis, on a daily basis. But please know, when you see us pop in, it's part of it is so that we can just kind of make sure we're connecting with you and get to see your faces throughout the 2020-2021 school year. I thank you all for logging in to watch this presentation today, and welcome again to the 2020-21 school year. Have a great day, and we'll see you virtually on Monday morning. Take care.